Good morning. Good morning. All right, guys. Welcome to Tips, Topics, and Talk, where we're giving you news and information that you can use. But before we get started, good morning. Good morning to those of you all who are joining us live on all of the platforms that we are on. So, welcome to everybody who's joining us this morning. We have a lot of things to actually cover today. And it's so much so that I decided to jump right in. But before we do, let's go ahead and welcome you into the Brownstone, shall we?
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Day Shift. Let me go ahead and take this out my ear. I'm Paulette. You are hanging out with me this morning in the Brownstone living, dining table, wherever we do the work together. I am the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide. We're going to get right into it so that you guys can go about your day. For those of you all who are watching me on TikTok, one of the things I want you to know is that if you head over to Brownstone Worldwide on Facebook, our official page, as well as over on Brownstone Worldwide at YouTube, and even BWTV at brownstoneworldwide.com, you're actually going to be able to see the videos that we're going to be sharing with you all today. So let's begin. Are you ready? Woo! We got a lot of stuff to cover. So for those of you all who are new here, one of the things that we do is we say, grab your coffee, grab your water. Let's get into some news and information that you can use right away so you can go about your day. Now, we also like to throw in a couple of interesting things as well, and some things that are kind of lighthearted, which we think is super important, especially with everything that is going on right now. So let's get started with some news and information that you can use. A couple of things that I want you all to know is that everybody's not happy with what's currently happening with the current administration. And they are letting their feelings be heard. So right now, Congress and the Senate are on break. And what they've been doing is going into their local communities, and they've been talking about to their constituents what they are doing and what's happening. And boy, when I tell you that people are not happy, they are not happy. Not only that, but your current sitting president, his approval rating has started to slip. And I believe the report I saw this morning said that he was at 32% approval rating. So let's get into what some folks are saying at their community town halls when they're talking to their senators. That's not the right one. Here it is. Here it is.
I'm a 20-year veteran teacher. As I said, I've been behind you in local stores. You came to the 100th anniversary of the Albany Library branch celebration where my band played inside. Okay? I saw you on TV at NOAA. I saw you on TV at the Department of Education. What I'm saying is this. Somebody asked you what your red line was, and you said that the time is always right to go. Does that mean the red line has already been crossed? Because I think it has. If you ask us to show up, Congressman Tonko, we will show up. In D.C. But it cannot be. We have to take the gloves off. We can't live for protocol. They're not playing by the rules. We have to take it to them. When I saw you at those places, and I saw you next to Maxine Waters, again, I was so proud that my representative was on the front line, right there. But I thought about Jimmy Carter, and I thought about John Lewis. And I know what John Lewis would have done. He would have gotten arrested that day. Make them outlaw you. We will stand behind you. We will be there with you. I will get arrested with you. I will do it. I visited my dad.
And that's what's currently happening in a lot of town hall meetings where congressmen are on break and they are talking to their constituents at local town halls, and people are not happy. And they're like, okay, what are you getting ready to do about it? Which is something that I've been talking about for some time, especially on my TikTok platform, where I've been saying, what are you doing? What's the next step? How do we get from this to that? Okay, so we're going to be sharing some more information with you guys a little bit later as well. But one of the things that I definitely wanted to share with you all was some of the information that we're starting to get in terms of what's happening in not only the news, but what's happening in the Brownstone. So if you're not familiar with who we are, this is Brownstone Worldwide. BrownstoneWorldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, as well as Brownstone Living Magazine. And if you want your actual copy of Brownstone Living Magazine, you can always go over to my Stand store and you can take a look. And the Black History issue of Brownstone Living Magazine is currently available for you to check out. Now, let's get into some more news, more information, so you can go about your day. So one of the other things that we wanted to definitely talk about today was what's happening in the US of A right now. Okay, some things that are super important. Number one, job confidence, which we knew was going to happen, especially with all of the layoffs and firings and things of that nature on a federal level. It's starting to definitely impact what's happening now. Not only that, for several years, myself and other people have been laid off from our corporate jobs for some time. And active job seekers in the U.S. are less confident about their chances of finding, keeping a job, or even locating one on a Richter scale than they were in the start of the actual beginning of the year, according to LinkedIn. And their workforce confidence survey that they actually put out annually. Optimism is also close to the lowest since the survey actually started during the pandemic. Now, these findings dovetail with concerns that it's taking a lot longer to secure newer roles. Do you guys remember when during the pandemic, you could walk outside and do the quiet quitting and all of the things and literally just be able to go get a job at a moment's notice? Well, most job seekers, are literally having to hunt for at least 6 months. Now, imagine what that can do to your personal bottom line if you're not able to find employment for at least 6 months. That will absolutely impact you and your personal bottom line. So one of the things that we definitely want to make sure that we're able to do is to continue to provide you with information. And some folks have started sharing with me some opportunities that are happening in certain job markets. So we'll definitely be sharing that with you as well. Now, yesterday, some of you guys might have also noticed that the IRS is firing thousands of workers. So let's talk about that. If you want to follow along, you absolutely can over at Brownstone Worldwide. Right now, the IRS is eliminating thousands of jobs across the country as part of the Trump administration's downsizing effort, which has also impacted other federal agencies. Now, the cut is about to affect between 6,000 to 7,000 jobs, according to reports citing anonymous sources, and come as tax filing season ramps up. Recent mass firings include about 1,000 workers from the National Park Service, and the staffing cuts are focused on employees who haven't been on the job long enough to gain protections. So a lot of employees who recently got their severance letters were told that they were not performing, and this was a performance firing. And many of these people were new and had never had a performance review. And so they are definitely looking to fight that. So it's unfortunate, but here we are. Okay. So most definitely we're seeing an impact on all fronts. Again, if you want more information about that, you can always head over to brownstoneworldwide.com and get more information as we get it, because that's what's happening right now. All right. Now, one other thing that I definitely wanted to discuss with you guys. Let me go ahead and activate my other pages so I can see when you guys are talking to me. All righty. Hang on just a moment. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. All right. That's good. That's good. It's kind of creepy looking at yourself. But here we go. Here we go. That'll work. That'll work. Okay. Now, one of the other things that's happening is Walmart's weak outlook sparks consumer spending fears as credit card debt rises. We knew that was coming as well. And I don't think that we've seen the last of it. I think we're definitely going to be seeing more and more of this as the year progresses, because we're still in February. So Walmart's weaker than expected forecast for the year sent ripples through the stock market on Thursday, raising fresh concerns about consumer resilience and economic stability. The retail giant, often seen as an economic bellwether, signaled softening consumer demand despite its strong performance during past financial downturns. Consumer spending is under pressure right now, with inflation still lingering. And according to analysts, Walmart is seen as the red flag for broader consumer spending habits, which we've actually seen. Many Americans are turning to credit card debt to cover daily expenses, indicating financial strain among households. A weaker retail forecast could actually point to slower economic growth, fueling concerns about a potential downturn. Now, what can that mean? As households actually grapple with rising costs and shrinking savings, Walmart's warning suggests consumers may be reaching their financial limits. And with credit card debt surging and inflation pressures persisting, the outlook for retail and economic stability remains completely uncertain. So guys, guard your wallets, find other ways to save a dollar. That's going to be the best thing for you to do. And one of the things that we are encouraging you guys to do today is we are working on sharing with you all the deals that are coming from Nordstrom today. Old Navy is having their spring clothing event. And so we're going to be sharing with you guys information on their discounts and what those percentages actually are currently. Okay. Now let's talk about this beast. This is really interesting. Elon Musk is actually seen wielding a chainsaw at the CPAC event that occurred as a symbol of federal job cuts. Did you guys see this? Reports are challenging the firing and why it's happening. So billionaire Elon Musk took to the stage at a conservative event on Thursday, dramatically waving a chainsaw in the air to promote his efforts to slash the federal workforce as head efficiency. Musk referred to the prop as a chainsaw for bureaucracy, reinforcing his stance on cutting government waste, under the Trump administration. So Musk defends layoffs, but reports suggest actually otherwise. So let's talk about that a little bit. He's actually comparing his efforts to throwing darts in a room full of targets. Darts in a room full of targets when it comes to eliminating waste and fraud in the federal budget. The Trump administration and Musk claim the job cuts are targeting low-performing employees and those in non-critical roles. However, after a CNN investigation, that is actually a contradiction on these claims, revealing that recently promoted employees and those with strong performance reviews are among those that have been terminated. Now, as this continues to ramp up and push forward with these mass firings, scrutiny is growing over who is actually being let go. With concerns about job security, government efficiency, and potential legal challenges, the debate over federal workers and workforce reductions is far from over. And let's talk about those U.S. jobless claims that are actually on the rise, but we're not surprised, are we? Because not only are we seeing jobless claims from federal workers, we're also seeing jobless claims in just the civilian workforce as well. It's risen to 219,000 as federal layoffs loom in future reports. New unemployment claims rose by 5,000 last week to 219,000, according to the Labor Department's report on Thursday, signaling that labor demand remains strong despite ongoing federal job cuts. However, the impact of recent layoffs affecting approximately 10,000 government employees has yet to be reflected in the data due to reporting delays. Now, the key takeaways from the latest jobless claims report are this. Initial unemployment claims rose to 219,000, marking a modest increase, but still indicating a stable job market. And that's because a lot of people are still going through that ripple, and we'll definitely see those numbers increase, especially with that stagnant report. Federal job cuts are not yet included in this data, right? As government layoffs are reported separately and with a lag. And filings in Washington, D.C. have reached a nearly 2-year high, reflecting early signs of federal downsizing. Now, while private sector hiring remains silent or resilient, the effects of widespread federal workforce reductions could lead to higher jobless claims in the coming weeks. As the government continues in its downsizing efforts, analysts are watching for potential ripple effects across the broader economy, and we are definitely going to start seeing that. All right. Now, once again, if you are new here, I'm Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, which houses brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and of course, Brownstone Living Magazine. If you would like your copy of Brownstone Living Magazine, you can always head over to the stand store above me, below my profile or below Brownstone Worldwide's profile. And you can head over to the stand store to actually get your digital copy of Brownstone Living Magazine. It is available with the one and only CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals, Mr. Freddie Taylor. He is the founder of these beautiful Black History flashcards that I have available right here. Okay, so today, what we're going to do is what we've been doing when we go live is we are choosing from the cards. We're choosing from the cards, folks, right here. And we're going to close our eyes and we're going to select one of the Black History cards and see who we get. Wow, this is interesting right here. I didn't expect to see him pop up. So Frederick Douglass came up, guys. Frederick Douglass came up, a part of Urban Intellectuals Black History cards, abolitionist, author, social reformer, and diplomat. He was born enslaved in Maryland and learned how to read and write at 12 years old. He taught other enslaved people to read and write, which we know was illegal back in the day. In 1838, he escaped by pretending to be a sailor. He joined the abolitionist movement by delivering speeches and writing in the Frederick Douglass Weekly, the North Star, and many other newspapers. He supported women's rights and was the only African American to attend the Seneca Falls Convention. Now, after the Civil War, he became a president of the Freedmen's Savings Bank. And in 1872, he received the nomination for vice president of the United States, making him the first African American on the presidential ballot. So there you go. There is our Black History person for the day. All right. Once again, you guys are checking out the day shift, the day shift, the day shift. And this is our morning show before we head into our afternoon program called Tips, Topics, and Talk, where we cover midday news and give you tips, topics, and talk. And we talk back to each other. All right. Now, again, we've got sales and giveaways that are happening for, and not through us, but through some of the companies that we work directly with. We have a sale that is going on with Old Navy right now. We also have HSN is having a huge sale right now as well too. But you guys do know that this is because you're getting into that the end of the winter season, even though in some areas of the country it doesn't feel like it, but they're getting rid of a lot of inventory, starting to move some things. So if you're looking to get new furniture, Wayfair is actually having a sale right now. And also, again, as I indicated before, Vera Bradley, the actual outlet, is having a sale. And they wanted me to share some information with you guys. Adidas is, again, having that same sale. I swear by Cloud Foam shoes, I promise you. They are absolutely amazing. And of course, Carter's and Old Navy are having their sale as well. And GNC and Walgreens is having a sale. And I'll be sharing that information once again over Brownstone Worldwide after this particular broadcast has completed its run. All right, let's get back into more news and information that you can use, because again, it's always important. Did y'all know that YouTube is actually planning a cheaper paid tier? Let me tell you why that's important. Because right now, Netflix just raised their prices. Hulu is raising their prices. And a lot of these other platforms are raising prices. And folks are literally like, okay, I don't need anything else. And so what YouTube has come out with is a Premiere Lite, and it's actually going to be cheaper than their Premiere service. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have Premiere and I actually enjoy Premiere because I'm able to do additional things that you can't do with just a regular service. So it's a pretty cool thing. All right. So here it is. YouTube to launch lower price Premium Lite subscription. If you're looking to reduce the amount of ad-free viewing that you're going to get, right? So maybe you're not bothered by all of the ads, but you don't want to spend a ton of cash on it. This might be a really good way to do it. So YouTube is planning to introduce a new lower cost subscription tier, Premium Lite, offering a mostly ad-free experience at a reduced price. Now, according to Bloomberg, unlike the current YouTube Premium plan, which costs $13.99 per month and removes ads from all of their videos, Premium Lite still will include ads on music videos while keeping other content ad-free, like this program right here, because we're on YouTube as well. Where can you find us? Of course, at Brownstone Worldwide. Why YouTube is introducing a cheaper subscription, we know. Good morning, Linda. How are you? Thank you so much for that. God bless you as well. The move comes as competition actually intensifies, particularly with Spotify, which is aggressively expanding its podcast and video offerings. YouTube aims to attract more subscribers who want fewer ads, but aren't willing to pay full price for premium. Now, what does that mean for users? Now, with YouTube exploring new pricing options, users may soon have a more affordable way to reduce ads while still supporting creators. As streaming platforms compete for audience loyalty, which is a thing, y'all, right? YouTube's subscription strategy shifts reflects the growing demand for customized and budget-friendly digital experiences. So that's a big deal, y'all. I really want y'all to know that. A really, really, really big deal. Okay? Now, we also want to talk about how Wall Street, listen, folks, is sliding. What does that mean? We've seen a dip. We've seen a dip. We've absolutely seen a dip. And it's not looking good. So stocks actually fell sharply after Walmart issued a warning that inflation and tariffs could slow sales growth in 2024, raising concerns about consumer spending and economic uncertainty. The Dow Jones Industrial Average it actually plunged more than 650 points yesterday before closing down 1.5%. while the Standard & Poor, the S&P 500, and NASDAQ composite fell 0.43 and 0.747% respectively. Now, most companies or most stock exchanges actually use Walmart as like a gauge, and Walmart shares tumbled more than 6.5%, dragging down the broader retail sector. And not just that, but you also notice that Target has lost a ton of cash, and some other major corporations who made a decision to remove DEI, or the actual program itself, not so much, but some of the benefits of it from their offerings as a company, both to the retailer and as employees. So the company's chief financial officer cited uncertainties related to consumer behavior and global economic and geopolitical conditions. In other words, it's a whole lot going on, baby girl. Hey, Cutter. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you this morning. Welcome to the day shift, girl. We out here giving us news and information that you can use at 8:30. We actually got started about 8:15 this morning because I couldn't find my phone stand. I'd have been here at 8. But we're starting something, and as I said before, something different, where we're going to split the show, Tips, Topics, and Talk, and give you midday news and morning news. And this is your morning news. Y'all, I have so much news to share. I feel like the homegirl has entered the building, and that is so, so cool. I'm excited because there's a lot to cover. And I've been just, getting the news, and I actually have it set up where it sends me information and I can kind of peek at it, or I'll hear it go off. Yes, I have an office upstairs and I can hear it go off upstairs, and I'm like, oh my God. So I get up to go and see what's actually going on. And I'm like, I might as well just stay up because this is so, so much. And it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, this is information that we all need, like this information about Wall Street. Right? Public concern over inflation and economic policy has 62% of U.S. adults flipping all the way out. Girl, it's 7-something here. It's going to be 5 a.m. next time I see you. 5 a.m. Oh, I'm tickled. Yeah. So adults believe that President Donald Trump has not done enough to reduce the price of everyday goods, underscoring growing frustration with economic challenges. Well, he said he was going to bring down the price of eggs. Y'all see how that went. With Wall Street reacting to inflation fears and tariff uncertainty, analysts warned that consumer spending trends and upcoming economic data on day one. Didn't he say? He said that. He sure did. All right. As the Federal Reserve assesses its next moves, investors remain on edge amid rising economic and geopolitical risks. Basically, that means folks is out here protesting and doing everything and holding on to their coinage, which we actually should be, because things are really uncertain right now. So during this downtime that we're all experiencing, what exactly do you think that we should be doing? What should we be doing? We should be holding on to our coins. That's what we should be doing. We should be like, all right, what's up next? How do I remain calm during this time? Because Kash Patel was confirmed, y'all, to be the head of FBI. That's number one of many. You know what? I needs to be the multiplayer game. I don't know. All I know is it's been wild out here in these real streets. Not so much. I can't even say his name because, there's no telling with me being on all of these platforms at the same time, Cutter, right? So I got to be careful. I'm trying to be careful out here in these internet streets so I can continue to provide you with the news and information that you can use. All right. So let's continue to keep moving on. Let's see. Starbucks CEO's vision for revival. At this point, that's the only see. Ma'am. Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol has zeroed in on a strategy to revive the chain, restoring a coffee house vibe. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Niccol said pursuing growth through mobile ordering and rewards programs caused Starbucks to lose sight of the primary service. Nichol, who took the helm in 2024, said the chain needs a balanced approach as it works to reverse consecutive. No. Come on. Come with it. Come on. You got it. All right. So let's talk about Starbucks just a little bit. That used to be my go-to place, especially when I was in graduate school and I was working on my capstone. That was the place that I would go and leave everybody at the house and lay everything out on this big, beautiful wooden table. And I would have my scones, and I would, sometimes bring the kids with me, and they would bring like their little tablets or whatever that they had with them at the time. It wasn't tablets. I bought them these little Chromebooks, and they would sit there with their little phones and so forth. And we would all kind of work, or sometimes I would go by myself, and it was just a cool vibe. Thank you so much for the likes there. It was a really cool vibe. And one day, when I officially moved to this area of Atlanta, I remember going into a Starbucks, and it was cold to me. And it wasn't like physically cold. The lights were low. I can't read in the dark. That's number one. Most of the food was packaged. And most of it always was anyway, but most of the food items were packaged. Everything was like cold and packaged, and you just kind of picked it up and you went about your day or about your way. And it didn't feel personal anymore. Do you remember when you could go to like Barnes and Noble and the chairs were out, or Books A Million, and you could go and sit down and lounge in these huge lofty chairs, and the ambiance was so cool, and you could pick up a book, and by the time you were done, not only had you read a couple of chapters, but you literally were able to take some of those books home with you and increase your library on the spot. That's how come I have as many books as I have, because that was my Saturday go-to, was to go to Barnes and Noble or Books A Million, which Barnes and Noble had like the best vibe ever, because they had like the cheesecakes and stuff like that, right? And so I would take the kids and we would go, especially when my two oldest were small. That was where I took them, and they could get a kid's book or something like that, especially if it was payday for me. And we would just kind of hang out and then go shopping afterwards. But now Starbucks is realizing one of the things that kept people coming back was because of the ambiance and the vibe. And you guys lost that trying to, be so corporate and cold. And that's how it felt. So I walked in there one day with some friends of mine. We were coworkers at the time. We had just gotten a new boss, and he was like, y'all, let's go meet at Starbucks XYZ. And we were like, yeah, that's cool. That's fine. And when we got there, y'all, the table was about this big, and it had these little round stools on either side of the table. Now, I'm not a large woman by any accounts, but I'm full. Okay. And my tail was hanging over the little stool, and I thought, what is this? What's really going on? And then my boss came in, and he was a bigger guy. He kind of sat down and couldn't, and he ended up having to get a chair and bring it over. And we were all just kind of sitting there. And I thought, this is not even cool. And look at this little bitty table. When did Starbucks get like this? That's how you lose people. And I stopped going. That was the biggest reason why I stopped going to Starbucks, was because it didn't feel personal anymore. And it wasn't cozy, and it wasn't comfortable for me to go and to just kind of sit. And I started doing a lot more things at home, or finding local eateries that offered that same ambiance and vibe that I wanted. And I found that here locally, there's a nice coffee house. It's 2 stories in an old mill here in the town that I live in. So really, really nice. So there you go. That's pretty much all I got on that. I didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole, but Mr. Brian, Starbucks CEO, you need to listen to your folks, listen to your people when they tell you what they want, and stop trying to be so. Just put you some big old chairs and get you some good coffee and let people come in. People used to go in there and actually work. It would give them an opportunity to be out in the community. You can't do that anymore because it's so cold. It's literally just, it's almost like a hospital vibe in there now, honestly. So anyway, federal worker layoffs are actually starting to take a toll. Are we surprised? The federal workforce has been hit hard over the last month, with more than 200,000 employees being laid off or at risk, and another 75,000 employees accepting deferred resignation offers. Now, these job cuts have affected a broad swath of agencies, including USAID, the Department of Veteran Affairs, the Department of Energy, and the IRS. As the mass termination continued to face core challenges, impacted workers and concerned members took to LinkedIn to actually share their stories. And so they're talking. They're all over, but on the LinkedIn professional social media site, they're talking and they're pissed off. They're angry, and now American citizens around the country are expressing their concerns to their congressmen who are actually on break. I don't know why anybody need a break right now. Now she's starting to slip out. She's starting to wake up now because now I'm aggravated because I'm like, how you taking a break? What I mean, what are we doing? But I've said this before and I will say it again. There is no one that is coming to save you. I have said it before. I think I'll say it one more time. There is nobody that is coming to save you. We're going to have to really do all of the things that we need to do for ourselves and our local communities and rally together, because they are basically telling us this who we riding with. And it's kind of scary. Because we're not looking at the totality of everything that's happening. We're just looking locally and we're saying, oh, trim the fat, cut the spending, XYZ. Let's talk about USAID just for a little bit. One of the things that I definitely wanted to share with you guys was something that I think you absolutely should know, and why it was so important for us to have USAID. And why I don't understand how we ended up in this place. But what you need to know is foreign aid isn't just charity. And many of us need to recognize that. Foreign aid is not just charity. It's a bargaining chip. It's power. Okay? When the idea came about in the beginning, and it was started actually by JFK. It was set up in the early 1960s, and it was developed so that we could win the support of developing countries. And a lot of people are not aware of that. They just think that we just said, oh, let's give away all of our stuff. No, that's not the way that this works, okay? The idea was to win over allies globally. So it wasn't just, well, let's go give some flour to Africa. No, we're not doing that, right? What's unfortunately happened is, since the dismantling of USAID in the recent couple of days, because honey, it ain't even been weeks from now, most of that work has literally stopped. I need you all to hear me on this. Most of the work has literally stopped. And what Trump and his team have criticized a few progressive State Department programs, like a Colombian opera, about a trans character and a DEI music event in Ireland. Okay, but the core of USAID's mission has been helping the world's poor. Hear me. It's been about helping the world's poor. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Good to see you, brother. But here's what we need to know. Breathe, y'all. We're going to be okay, because what I'm trying to do is give you as much information as I possibly can from the perspective of just giving you the news. What I try my best to do, and Cutter, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to do, girl. I try not to get my emotions involved unless I'm really hot as fish grease. And right now, as we grab our coffee, I'm already hot as fish grease. So USAID was literally something that was necessary so that we could pull political allies. Pulling USAID out of areas like Africa, we're just going to put that out there, really doesn't help our best interest, right? So here's how you measure the influence that we've had. So I did a little digging. Okay, of course I did a little digging. Impacts of the U.S. aid halt in the first week. Y'all ready for this? Sit down. Most of the soup kitchens that fed 816,000 people in Khartoum has been shut down. In the Ivory Coast, a program collecting sensitive intelligence on Al-Qaeda related incidents has been interrupted. Are you listening? Aid workers say about 40 newborns contracted HIV per day when funding for treatments stopped. Providers of maternal care vaccinations and firewood suspended operations in the Ukraine. Patients in Thailand were told to leave a U.S.-funded refugee hospital. In Syria, a security contractor nearly halted operations at a camp that holds ISIS members. We're losing allies. That's what this is about. So it wasn't just, oh, let's just give away free stuff. We are not an island or planet in and of itself, America. It's bigger than that. And I'm hoping that you all understand that it's bigger than that. So here's the thing. We're not saying, and I'm not saying in my research, I have found that, right, and that's unfortunate because we're not a silo, right? If he's secluding, why is he secluding? What's the point? Because Americans lose. Because when we don't have specific allies in position, that leaves us open, right? Because of the billions that have been paid out to help fund these programs in these areas. Here's the thing, the billions Washington spent there in places like Kenya and other areas around the world, here's what we know. Here's what we've learned. Here's what we know. There is a long-running debate about the effectiveness of foreign aid. So scholars have criticized it for failing to reduce poverty or stimulate economic development. There are infamous examples of expensive disasters like the Norwegian-backed frozen fish factory in a very hot part of Kenya. Make that make sense, right? These days, most aid for Kenya goes toward food security and health programs, which even critics acknowledge save lives. Okay, here's more. Here's more. The billions Washington spent there has actually paid off. Over the years, Kenya has become one of America's most reliable allies. Didn't I just say that? It's leverage. Sometimes you have to shake some hands and kiss some babies. It's politics. You can't bulldog and bulldoze and bully some people. Have you ever tried to bully some people and they begin to rage? That don't just happen to people, honey. That happen to countries. And countries got leaders that are just as outrageous as the one that we currently have, right? So we're skating on a lot of thin ice and a lot of people aren't paying attention, right? So it has helped us because it served as an operations center for anti-terrorism in that particular region. Okay, it buys more Americans goods like aircraft parts each year as other nations cozy up to Russia. Let's just say, for instance, a Kenyan diplomat delivered one of the most eloquent and rousing speeches at the United Nations condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Okay, we're not saying that USA does not have its hiccups, because I believe even sometimes when you're doing your own bank balance, you're going to find some things. But yeah, this can be astronomical if it's not done right. Now, the abrupt end of $44 billion in aid, listen, folks, has been chaotic and wasteful. Let's talk about the waste. Hundreds of millions, who says it like that? Hundreds of millions of dollars of food may soon rot in the ports and warehouses where it is stuck, because they told it to shut it down. We definitely been aircraft parts, how they've been malfunctioning lately. Ooh. I'm just going to sip my coffee and mind my business, ma'am. Okay. I mean, really, let's stop and think about that. Now, the battle against deadly disease too could suffer, not just food being frozen. Bigly. Yes, bigly. Just making up words, right? So HIV, 20 million HIV patients are being impacted because they are being provided medications through the US of A. Guess what? That stopped last month. Yeah, that stopped last month. Without those meds, lives are at risk, and so is the effort to stop the spread and mutation of HIV. Let that sink in. The ramifications are clearly not just humanitarian. Business executives fret that aggrieved nations might make it harder for Americans to get travel or work visas. Think about that. So see, when we just out here, we just cutting stuff down, because y'all saw Elon Musk with his big old fake chainsaw all at the CPAC meeting last night and so forth. And he was all excited and halfway, explaining what was really going on. The issue that we're not understanding is that we're all connected, and you cannot, in true form, be a physical body. It can be done, and amputate a portion of the body that is a part of the life-sustaining experience that you have. So I can't cut out my heart. You know what I mean? Because it'll stop. I can't cut my lungs out. I might be able to live with them for a little while, but not for long. Are you following what I'm saying? So therein lies the issue. Therein lies the issue, is that this is bigger than just us having cut so much. What you did was you cut your allies. You cut your allies. And that's a problem. Long term, that's going to be a problem, because right now, anti-West sentiment is a real thing worldwide. Okay, it's a lot of people that's like, nah, we ain't feeling them. And it's people that's in leadership that are saying things like that. So we have to really, really, really be careful out here in these streets. Okay. It's just unfortunate that we're not looking at the totality of what happens when we're making goofy distinction. Because I just kind of feel like it's goofy to me. It's like, are you for real? Is this what we're doing? How do we end up here? What are we doing? And by all accounts, I don't think anybody really knows. You know what I mean? We're just kind of flowing along, just going along for the ride. But I want you all to understand that cutting USAID really was not just about being malicious and cutting the money. We definitely been okay. Yeah, I read that part. So it's not about just cutting money for aid for free. It was leverage. It was the leverage that we needed for intel. It was the leverage that we needed for people to rally and be on our side. It was leverage for us to be able to do something humanitarian and gain something in return. And that's so important, especially now with the way that things are. But when you're continuously cut, do you know how fast people are turned when they see you like, what you want? What information? Oh, okay. No, I don't have nothing for you. You ever see somebody like that? Yeah. Now, Netanyahu is actually decries release of wrong body as a ceasefire violation as Hamas pledges to investigate. So one of the rules was for these, the bodies of four hostages was for all bodies that had been found to be unalived were to be returned. Well, the mama didn't come back. It was somebody else. Okay. And he's not happy about that. So of course, we're going to see an impact from that. Okay. We're definitely going to see that. All right. A couple of other things that I think is important to know is Kash Patel, who was actually Trump's pick for FBI director. He was confirmed 51-49. But we already know this. I have never not seen, I think once, maybe twice, but I've really not ever seen somebody that sits at that table and is completely and fully investigated. I don't see how at the end of the day, any one of them is not going to get confirmed, because they always end up being confirmed, don't they? So, yeah. So you're putting all your watchdogs in position. Good for you. I think that's wonderful. And of course, you all know I'm being facetious, right? Yeah, you should absolutely know that by now about me. That's, it's unfortunate, but that's where we are. Now let's talk about some other things. I believe we need a little lightheartedness here. Do you have your coffee? Make sure you got your coffee, folks. We're coming up on an hour, and so I'll be back this afternoon at 11-ish, 12-ish, right? All right, Tyne Daly. Most of you guys remember her from Cagney and Lacey. Literally is 79 today. So happy birthday to Tyne Daly. Anthony Daniels, who actually played C-3PO in Star Wars films, turned 79 today. William Peterson from CSI is 72 today. Kelsey Grammer turned 70 today. And we also have actor and director Jordan Peele turns 46 today. So happy birthday to him. Now, there's a new study that just came out that said that chocolate is good for the heart. So go on ahead. I'm applying for vice president's what? Right. Since it doesn't matter anymore, let's just go ahead and everybody just apply. But you can. I mean, you don't need qualifications. All you got to do is be an American born citizen or buy it. Oh, I said it. I said it. There's more news and information over at brownstoneworldwide.com. You can go over there and check everything out. And then once we're done here, the little team and I, we're going to get together. We're going to be conferring about some of the sales and things we want to share with you guys today. Go ahead and get your issue of Brownstone Living Magazine as well, above in the stand store. It's absolutely free. Go ahead and check it out. And here's something else, wacky but true. We're going to start doing these to kind of lighten up the load a bit. A warehouse worker in China was actually fired for excessive flatulence. They sent him to the house, y'all. Now, after the man was terminated, his wife came to the plant and got his job back, telling his boss it was her fault for the frequent flatulence because she had been experimenting in the kitchen for over a month. He must have been cutting up. Can you imagine? Anyway, chocolate is good for the heart. Remember that. Let me say it again. Chocolate is good for the heart. So go ahead and get your little bag of Hershey's, little dark chocolates. Kind of have a chocolate a day. How about that? Okay. All right, folks. This is what I need you all to do. Grab your 6 list. Do you have your 6 list? We're at the end of the show. He needed detox is right. He really does. Grab your 6 list. You see my 6 list is super long today. So this is like all of the things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Some of these, I have 14 on my list today. You don't have to be like me. You really don't. Okay. I've already crossed off 3. Yours has 8. Okay, cool. Mine has, yeah. So here's the thing. For those of you all who are unfamiliar with what we do here in the Brownstone as people in the neighborhood, we like to take notes. Write down the 6 most important things that you like to do every day or that you need to do that are necessary, like paying the phone bill, making sure that you clean under the couch, folding that laundry that's been, taking up space, applying for the new job opportunity, studying, right, for your certifications or whatever you have going on. Write down the 6 most important things that you have to do for the day and start crossing them off as you finish them. If you do not finish all 6 items, make sure that whatever you didn't finish becomes priority for the very next day and start working on those. Now, something else that I do as well is I take my earbuds and I turn on music. I am a Hans Zimmer fan. Hans Zimmer fan through and through and through. And what I do is I turn on a Hans Zimmer soundtrack album and I time myself. I'll say, I'll listen to 2 Hans Zimmer songs, right? And I'll finish number 1. Or I will listen, right? So I'll do 30 minutes here, or I'll set the timer, give myself 30 minutes there. Because a lot of times the things that are on your 6 list take you 2 minutes to do. You're just procrastinating. Okay? So remember that when you are going through your 6 list, recognize the things that don't take a lot of time and start crossing them off your list. So y'all pray for me because mine has, what did I say, 13? I have 13 on my list today. You don't have to do 13. Start with 6. What does 6 look like for you? Is it getting out of the bed and making the bed? One of the things that's on my 6 list is after I put my clothes on in the morning, make my bed. Make my bed. Tomorrow is wash the sheets. Oh, I'm going to wash some sheets. Listen, we're going to do that. Okay? My dryer died, y'all. My dryer died. So I'm definitely going to have to replace it. It died. I actually have one in my garage. And it was in my store. And we just brought it back to the house. And it just so happened the dryer died. So we're going to take that upstairs today. But yeah. So that's on my list of things to do. Yes, girl. And you know how expensive dryers are. So I went on ahead and I did what I had to do. And I kept it. I was like, I'm going to need that dryer. And sure enough, I needed it. So here we are. Didn't sell that one. Okay. So a couple of other things that we're doing today is we're checking out. We're gonna monitor Cityscape Radio today. We're gonna do all the things. Okay. We're gonna make sure y'all know how TikTok does. They want to make sure that I'm a real person. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna monitor Cityscape Radio today. Do some edits. Add some new stuff to it. Some new programs. And y'all don't forget, Breakfast with Vernell actually starts in March. We're excited about that. He is not going to be replacing me. He'll probably come on before me. Excuse me. And then I will come in and do what I normally do, which is the news and information for you first thing in the morning. All right, folks. So we're up on 60 minutes, approximately. We're 3 minutes away from that. And I don't want to take up any more of your time because you know you got stuff to do. I got stuff to do. Head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com for more news and information that you can use, as well as Cityscape Radio throughout your workday to kind of help you make it through. And don't forget Brownstone Living Magazine. You can definitely take that with you wherever you go. And of course, y'all already know I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show it to you since my tablet is not dead. Hang on. I want to show you guys the work that is done. So big shout out to Sheena, Rakaya, Narinde, all of these amazing people that are a part of what we do. This is the cover for Brownstone Living Magazine right here. Okay. Go ahead and get your copy. Go ahead and get your issue. No. No. I'll share with y'all who Vernell is. So as you can see, Mr. Freddie Taylor, and if you're not careful, it will. It's real sensitive. So we got Freddie Taylor in there this month. You see that? You can get, okay. All right. Table of contents. Is it going backwards? Here we go. Great interview. There's my letter from the editor. That's me sitting down there with a microphone in front of me. The Founders Circle. Oh, there's an ad. Get 3 free audiobooks. We have a relationship with Dolly. Who is this? Dave and Buster's. That is our brand manager, Rakaya. And some other ads and stuff like that. So go ahead and check out Brownstone Living Magazine at your leisure. It is absolutely free. And that's it. So here's what we're getting ready to do. We're getting ready to dig back into what's happening. I'm going to grab some more coffee, take my vitamins. If you haven't taken your vitamins, go ahead and take care of yourself. I will see you all this afternoon on Tips, Topics, and Talk. Listen, folks, let's just get out there and enjoy the day, shall we? Go ahead and enjoy your day. We'll be back this afternoon. I might have a little bit more attitude this afternoon. There's no telling with me. All right. If you're on TikTok, I'll probably stick around for like the after hours piece. But if you are on all of the other platforms, thank you so much for joining us on today. Let's go ahead and get up out of here. We'll see you later on this afternoon for Tips, Topics, and Talk.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain and we will help you live well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we wanna create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Bernard, here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see